And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.
What's up, my YouTube friends, viewers, subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger motivational video. Let's get it. Stop depending on others. And the reason I say this is when you depend on someone, all you're doing is putting them in charge of what you should be doing, or making them do it for you. Stop depending on people, because you can do something yourself and you can grow way faster because you will learn through the process instead of depending on somebody, letting somebody do it for you. And not everyone will try to help you. Some people take advantage of you. This is why most times when you fully depend on someone, they take advantage of you, lead to disrespect, all those kind of stuff. Stop depending on people. You can do way more if you do it yourself. Do not waste your time to depend on somebody else. I know sometimes you're going through something and you just sit down and you're waiting for somebody to come and help you, or somebody to come and save you, so that leads to you physically depending on them to do it. No. Nope. This is why most times when you depend on somebody, you keep walking behind them asking for help, or this is why they treat you all type of way, or even if they do a favor for you, they expect something in return. Stop depending on people. Like, most times people put themselves in a situation and then they sit down and wonder why all of this is happening. Listen, if you ask somebody for a favor, they're going to expect something back in return. That's just how mankind is. Stop depending on people. Do it yourself. Focus on what you're doing and do it yourself. If they want to lend a hand, it's better they willingly help you instead of you sitting down waiting for somebody to come and save you. Because number one, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to help you. The definition of help is you doing something and someone is lending a hand. So if you're doing absolutely nothing and you're waiting for somebody to take you and do something with you, that's you depending on them. Don't depend on nobody. And this is for mostly females, because I know sometimes it's in a female's nature to be dependent on a boyfriend or husband or somebody. But trust me, sometimes it's better you get up and do some stuff yourself. This is why most of the women put themselves in weird positions and weird relationships and even weird marriages, because they were raised to depend on somebody else. And then this generation is so different where everyone has been treated a all different type of way. Stop depending on people. Man, this is why there's look at yourself right now and think about how much time you ask somebody for a favor, or you ask them to help you. Think about how much time they disrespect you, they told you no, they hurt your feelings. Or for women, in most cases, they need they want something back in return. Think about that. But if you were doing something yourself, you wouldn't be in those positions. Especially if you're trying to focus on a career, or you're trying to focus on a job, or you're trying to focus on something, and then it's like you don't want to move forward because you don't know what to do. So you sit down waiting for somebody to come help you. Don't depend on nobody. All you're doing is putting somebody else in control of what you should be doing. That's it. That's basically it. And everybody move at their own pace. So if you do something yourself and you're comfortable with moving neutral speed, and then you want to depend on somebody else, that person may not want to move as fast as how you are moving. Because everybody will try to help, but no one is going to come and take full control of your life or full control of what you're doing. So when you sit down and depend on somebody, you literally stop your own growth. That's it. Because what you could be doing, you could be moving way faster, as I've said. But when you wait for somebody, do not wait for nobody. Do not depend on nobody. It's okay to ask for help now and then, but try to figure it out. Try to figure it out, because you're going to put yourself in a weird position, and then you're going to sit down and question yourself and say, oh, it's always the same thing over and over and over. It's like deja vu. But you are the reason why you're living in deja vu, because you are the one sitting down waiting for somebody to come by so you can depend on them. Do not depend on nobody. Do not depend on nobody. You're slowing down your own process of whatever it is that you need to get done, because you know what it is that you need to get done. You know. But you rather depend on somebody else and make somebody else pick up your responsibilities. That person is going to be irritated, and then that leads to disrespect. How much time has you tried to depend on somebody and they disrespect you, or you needed help and they're you know what I mean? Come on. Come on. I'm not saying do it 100% yourself, because sometimes some people need help. Like, you got two people in this world. One, the one that can push forward, that don't need help from nobody. And then you got the second one that need extra help from people. You know what I mean? But it's better, even if you need extra help, it's better you try to move forward. Try to move forward, or let them see you as if they don't need you. That way they will easily try to lend a hand. Instead of you sitting down waiting on them, and then every time you see them you're like, oh, this and this and this and that. They're gonna be irritated and frustrated. Stop depending on people. Stop depending on others. Try to figure it out yourself. Try to do it yourself. Do not wait for nobody. You're stopping yourself. That's all it is. You could be so much more ahead. But the fact that you don't know how much further ahead you could be, because you're sitting out waiting for somebody else to do it for you. Do not wait for nobody to do nothing for you. No one gets the job done the way how you want the job to be done. Because if you're a type of person that you like stuff done a certain way, and you ask somebody to do it, even if you pay them to do it, they still won't do it how you see fit. And you're not paying them, because you're dependent on them. So you're sitting down waiting on them to do it for you. No, they will mess your whole stuff up. This is like you're working and saving your money to do something, and then you put your money in someone else's hand, and then they lose it all. Because you work your money, you save your money, and then you are depending on somebody else to do something or invest your money, and they lose it all. Do not put your stuff, your business in someone else's hand. Do not depend on nobody to get your stuff done. If they want to lend a hand, then that's fine for them to lend a hand, but do not depend on them. This is why a lot of people lose a lot of things, because they depend on somebody else, and maybe the other person that they're depending on is not so aggressive and as firm as you. You know what I mean? So when you try to do something and then you try to depend on somebody else to do it for you, especially if you're not there, then they will lose it all. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. Even in relationships. People go in relationships, the one that is more dominant always, the weaker one always tend to give their money to the one that's more dominant. Which is fine, because if you're a partner, that's fine. But sometimes you got people, you save your money, you give someone your money, and then they lose it all. Or you try to do something together and then it don't work, then only your money go down the drain. I've seen that over and over and over and over again. Do not depend on nobody. If you want to do something, it's best you ask them to help you. Like, say 50-50 or 80-20. But you have to be there and let them see you as if you're really trying to figure it out, because not everybody know everything, and some people need extra help, as I've said. But if someone is helping you, you need to be there, and you need to learn as you go while they're doing whatever they're doing. Because if all you do is lay back like this and let them do everything, at the end of the day, when they're done, you still have no idea of what was happening. And then when they're done and they're gone, you're sitting down in the same spot, can't figure nothing out, and then you're gonna need them all over again. And then when you constantly needing them all over again, depending on them over and over and over again, that person's gonna disrespect you or talk to you a certain way and hurt your feelings. I've seen it over and over and over again. Stop depending on others. And let me say it one more time. If someone is helping you, the definition of help is you're doing something and someone is lending a hand. Help doesn't mean you sit down and I do everything. That's not definition of help. That's you using somebody else. But a lot of people always tend to want to sit down like, come on. How much disrespect you're gonna take? How much things you're gonna take of people talking down on you, disrespecting you, making you feel like trash, just so you can sit down and depend on them. You're gonna numb your feelings just so somebody else can talk crap about you so you can use them. Don't depend on nobody. Don't depend on nobody. Because if you truly want to do something, like you want to focus on a goal or a dream, or there's something you want to do with your life, the person you're depending on may not fully understand what you're doing, and they're just doing what they see fit. If that makes sense. Because let's say, let me use content creator. I like using content creator because I'm talking off my what I know. So let's say you want to be a content creator, and I'm a content creator as well, and you want to depend on me to make videos for you and edit your videos and post them and whatnot. I got my own channel to worry about. As much as if I'm the type to want to help people, and I'm the type to do collaboration and share ideas. I'm that type of guy, but not everyone is like me. So let's say you're trying to depend on somebody to make a video for you and edit it and post it and do all that extra stuff. What are you doing? That's your channel. So if you're depending on somebody to do everything for you, you don't think that person is going to be tired to do the same thing all over and over again? There's so much a person could take. That's why when somebody snap on you, they snap at the last moment, because that's their breaking point. Don't think it's what you said now why they snapped on you or why they disrespect you. It was a long time coming. But when they snapped on you, all that led to the current moment. It's not what you said today. It's not what you said yesterday. It's not what you said last week. It's what was happening for the whole last year or last 2 years. But as I was saying, if you're a content creator, like a new content creator, and you have no idea what's going on, some people will help you. But like for me, like I will help somebody and do collaboration with them. But if I'm editing a video, it's best you learn how to edit the video. So I don't feel like I'm being used. Because when people feel like they're being used, that's when they get irritated and frustrated, and that leads to disrespect. Because you're trying to do something for somebody, and then they're all laid back waiting on you to finish, and then next day same thing all over again. If someone is helping you and you don't understand, the best thing to do is be there and learn, so they can see within themselves, like, you don't know, but you're willing to learn. There's a difference from you don't know and you're willing to learn, and you don't know and you're sitting down waiting on everybody to do it. That's you depending on somebody else. The first one is help. You don't know, but you're willing to learn. That's the definition of somebody helping you. Because a lot of people think if you sit down and do absolutely nothing, the other person is helping you. Nope. That's you low-key using that person. And all that is when a person feels used, that's when they snap and start cursing. Stop depending on nobody. You don't need to put yourself in no situation. If it's something you're trying to figure out, you learn as you go. If someone is showing you something, you try to figure it out. If you don't know, you ask them. Because people will only help those who are willing to learn. No one is going to get up and do all this stuff for somebody that's sitting down doing absolutely nothing, unless they're your kids or somebody related to you. But no one is going to literally get up and do everything while you sit down and look around and have no idea what's going on. So you want to be successful, but you don't want to learn. You don't want to grow. You can't be successful if you don't learn new stuff and new ideas, and you're not growing because you're not learning anything throughout the process. Because not everybody know everything. So technically, if someone is helping you do something and you're learning as you go, you will grow. That's growth, because you're learning. And the more you learn is the more advanced you'll be. But when you're not learning anything, you sit at the same spot constantly depending on somebody else till they hurt your feelings. You don't have to put yourself through all these nonsense and sticky situations just to depend on somebody. Stop depending on people. You don't have to have nobody talk to you no type of way, or disrespect you, or talk down on you, make you feel less as a person just so they can do something for you. No. Nope. Nope. Do not live your life like that. Stop. I'm telling you this right now. Stop depending on people. Because it's only a matter of time before they start cursing you or whatever they used to do. They're going to stop doing it because they feel like they're being used. Even if deep down you're not using them. Because even if you're the type of person where if someone is doing something, maybe you don't want to learn, or maybe you think they do it better than you. But you never said that they do it better than you. But you just sat there and did nothing. And then in their head, they're like, I'm doing everything for you. And you're not even willing to learn. You're not willing to push forward. So you're just using me. Even if in your mind, you're like, you know what? This person know what they're doing. So I'm not going to bother them. I'm not going to say nothing. It's best you be there and look what they're doing and ask questions. Instead of you just sit down looking all over the place waiting for them to say I'm finished. No. Nope. 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 The moment a person feel like they're being used, that's when they will start treating you different and start treating you all different type of ways. Which in fact, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, you don't have to put yourself through all that unnecessary stuff just so somebody can do something for you. Why would you do that? No. No. If you ask me, you can do way much better. Do it yourself. If you don't know, figure it out. Learn as you go. Because let me tell you something. If it's something you're really interested in, you will learn faster if you're interested. Because if you're sitting down letting somebody else do everything, it's obvious you're not interested. Because if someone is like really like something, they learn faster. Look at when you were in school. Or maybe you're still in school. Look at all the subjects that you love and all the ones that you hate. The ones you love, you enjoy being there. And you learn everything quicker. The one that you hate, you're there for one class is like 1 hour or 2 hours and you're sitting down there learning absolutely nothing because you're not interested. The teacher may be a good teacher, but the fact is you're just not interested, so you don't want to learn anything. And that's the same way with life in this generation or this time. That's life in general. If people are interested in something, they are willing to learn. If they're not willing to learn, it's obviously they're not interested. That's just how it is. And then if you're not interested, you're depending on somebody else to do something for you. And let me say it one more time. The moment that person feels like they're being used, they're going to take advantage of the situation. And if they know you can't move forward without them, then there's more problem. There will be more and more and more problem. You don't have to depend on nobody. Because the person you're depending on, if you know what you're doing or you like something a certain way, they like if you are depending on somebody to do something for you, they're going to do it how they see fit. They may ask you, oh, what you think of this, or what you think of that, or what do you think I should do here? They will ask for your opinion. That's because it's your stuff. But some people will just do everything how they see fit. And then at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, you're like, why couldn't they do this instead of doing that? And why did they say this? You know what I mean? You have to be there. Let them help you. Let them help you. Help is different from depending. Stop depending on others. You don't need nobody to treat you a certain way or talk to you a certain way. Just because you need them to do something for you. Nope. Figure it out yourself. You need to sit down and take a hard look within yourself and figure out what you need to get done. And let me say it one more time. If you're interested in it, your brain will figure out how to get it done. If you can't figure out how to get it done, then you're not interested in it as you thought. Maybe you want to do it because everybody else is doing it. Come on. You can do way better. And you can be moving way quicker. And you got different ideas and potential. But you can't show it because you're depending on somebody else to do your stuff for you. No. And I'm talking about like depending on people in general. And I'm talking about depending in any way. Like you can depend on somebody in different ways. Notice, whenever you try to depend on somebody, the more you sort of depend on them and lean on them, the more that person sort of acts up or treat you a certain way. You know what I mean? Okay, look. Let me use borrowing money as an example, because that's like a big issue nowadays. Let's say you borrow some money from someone, right? They know you, but they don't know how long you will take to give them the money back. Okay, let's say you borrow some money, and then you're like, okay, next week I'll pay you back. They're gonna wait for next week just to see, and that person is not gonna ask you for their money back. They're gonna watch how long it's gonna take for them to get their money back, because they know the longer you take, they will never lend you again. They will never lend you again. So when you borrow money from somebody and you give them back the money on time, when you need it again, you can depend on them to lend you the money again. Because they're going to say, oh, you know what? Last time I lend you some money, you said you're going to give me back within a week, and you give me back in two days or 3 days. So if I lend you the money now, then you're going to give me back. But when you take years and years and years to give them the money back, they're going to sit down and they're going to wait for that opportunity when you give them the money back and you really need it again. You can't depend on them, because in their head they were being used. That's just how it is. Because people will see you or try to do something for you, trying to help you, and then they're gonna like observe you to see what you're gonna do within the position. Like, what are you going to do? You need my help? Okay, I will do it. And then they will literally do it, and then they're gonna corner at you to see what you're doing. Because like I said, the helping is different from depending. Because you got some people that don't know what's going on and they don't know what they're doing, and they need somebody to do it for them. But you're not willing to learn. And let's go back. When you borrow that money from that person, they're not going to lend you that money again. But what if the next time you really need the money because you're in a critical situation and you really needed the money, and then you go back to them after you took 2, 3, 6 months, if not a year, to pay them back, and then you're like, oh, I'm in a critical situation right now. I really need some money to pay off some stuff else. I'm going to be in more hot water. They're going to be like, sorry, bro, I don't got it. You got to figure it out yourself. Because that person think they were being used. And it all go back to the same thing. The moment that person feel like they're being used, they talk to you a certain way. They treat you a certain way. They hurt your feelings just because you're depending on them. Because if you're depending on them, to them, they don't see themselves as dependent. They see themselves as being used. Because not everybody know the difference between being used and dependent. Not everybody know that. Because you got some smart people where they can see that you don't know, but you really need the help. And maybe you're not willing to learn because you're slow or you're not interested. We don't know. And then you got some people that's like, okay, you asked me to do something, I will do it. Then they will sit down and look at you to see if you're interested in learning or helping how to do it. And then as time go by, disrespect you. And why are you living your life like that? And in your head, you think that's somewhere. You think it's okay for you to depend on everybody else around you. You don't think everybody else has their own stuff going on? Everybody else do not want to worry about your stuff all the time because your stuff is not their #1 priority. Everyone have their own career that they're focusing on and they're worrying about. You think everyone is going to stop what they're doing to focus on your career, and then you sit down like you're not interested in your own career? No. At least if everyone is helping you, it's best you sit down and you ask questions. Okay, so how do I crop this? How do I edit this? How do I cut this out? You ask questions. So in their head, they can say, okay, at least you're willing to learn. Let's move forward because you're willing to learn. Not just somebody doing everything and you sitting down looking like, oh, you done? Okay, give me. Then that's it. Because that's you physically using another person to get your job done. And let me say this one more time before I close this video. Stop depending on people. You don't need them to talk to you a certain way, treat you a certain way, hurt your feelings, make you feel like garbage. You can avoid all that unnecessary stuff. You are the reasons why people treat you however they're treating you, because people treat you according to how you are with them. So if a person treats you type of way, then it's because of you. If a person show you a lot of respect because it's something that you've done. People treat you according to how you bring yourself forward. If all you do is bring yourself a certain way, of course they're going to treat you a certain way. And if all you do is depend on them, all they're going to do is disrespect you and hurt your feelings all over again. And then over time, they're going to tell you, oh, do it yourself or get your own. They're going to say stuff like that to you. So let me say it one more time. Stop depending on people. It's better if you do it. Figure it out as you go. If you're a slow learner, if someone is helping you, be there and learn. It's better to be there and learn, because when that person feel like they're being used, then they're gonna treat you like garbage, and you don't got time for that. That's why I hope this video is useful to some of you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. I will be back doing more stuff. You go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.